What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at the new Lego Marvel X-Men X-Jet set 76281 with 359 pieces that retails for $84.99. So this is a pretty cool set coming out for our X-Men 97 show that should be coming out some point this year on Disney+. So we're getting X-Men reintroduced into the Lego Marvel with the X-Jet, which is pretty cool. And then we get 4 minifigs that I think are all pretty cool. I like 3 of the 4 for sure. Magneto I'm not too crazy about just with his design, but from what I've seen with like Marvel Legends and other pictures and stuff, that's what he's gonna look like at least part of the show. So I guess it makes sense why we got it that way. But overall, the main feature of this is the X-Jet, which I'm not too crazy about. I'm not too crazy about like jets and vehicles itself, like especially with like Star Wars and everything. Depending on the vehicle, I'm not too crazy about them. I mostly get stuff for the minifigs, which is the reason why I got this set. Because if you've been watching this channel, especially with like Marvel Legends, I'm a huge fan of the X-Men. Since I've missed out on the Lego X-Men figures in the past, with them coming out with new ones, I figured I had to jump on these and get them. So we have our X-Jet here, which looks pretty cool, with some of our characters of Wolverine and Cyclops in the cockpit, and Rogue chasing after Magneto on his flying disc, which is really cool, with our X-Men 97 and Wolverine there on the side. And if we flip around to the back, we can see the X-Jet there and just some of the features. So we get spring missiles, some extra canisters to store stuff, and then of course extra spots on the X-Jet there. So all of that looks pretty cool, I guess. So let's go and look at this set, starting with the minifigs. So here are our 4 minifigs, and we'll go and start with Wolverine, of course, everyone's favorite X-Men. And overall, he looks pretty good here. So he does have his black and yellow tiger stripe outfit that looks pretty cool. So we have the masked head on here, so mostly yellow mask, but with the big black fins coming off to the side. So that always looks really cool. But underneath, we have the face of Logan there. So I like how he has like this sunglasses design, which with the mask, you know, it makes the eyes all whited out. But you can have this if you want just to have him with sunglasses. Of course, you need a hairpiece to put on him, but he's got the smile on there, and you can see little stubble and the sideburns and everything. But on the back, we do have just a head where he's just got like a little smirk on his face and without the glasses. So again, you can use that. But I don't think, unfortunately, unless I'm missing it somewhere, it didn't come with his extra hairpiece. So you pretty much always have to have this mask on. But you could always make him like that as well, where you can see his eyes through there. But I think for me personally, I like seeing the white better, so I'll always leave it with that. So the white's always coming through. Of course, he has a little smile, which doesn't really fit for Wolverine. But then he's got the bare arms, so nothing on his arms there. But then he has the yellow design down the center with the black tiger stripes, as they call them, so on the shoulders and on the midsection, going down to the blue underwear where he's got the red belt around his waist with the X-Men logo, yellow leggings going down to the blue boots that come up with the like sort of V shape there, and I love how it's got the little toe designs printed on the front. And of course, he has his Wolverine claws, so we have the extra little claw accessories there to give Wolverine his claws, so that is pretty fun, and overall looks pretty decent. It does have printing on the back. Now unfortunately, they made the legs all blue, so it's going to look weird there, and I guess I'll just go and bring it in. So with a figure like this Wolverine, where it looks pretty good, like no real issues with the look or anything, but he could look a little bit better, so I'm going to end up using the Wolverine from the CMF wave because he looks a lot better and looks more exactly how he should. So there's more details with the printing on the arms, which of course they always go cheaper, you know, to make it as cheap as possible. But printing on the arms, the legs just aren't blue. They're the design and stuff that they should be with the yellow and blue there, so like the dual mold and stuff. So that all looks pretty cool and much more details on the CMF Wolverine. So this will be the Wolverine I use for my X-Men, but this one isn't bad. Like I said, just doesn't have all the same details, but nothing wrong with it the way it is. Then we get our leader of the X-Men of Cyclops here, so looks pretty good. Again, I grew up watching the original X-Men cartoons, so seeing these designs, they're always my favorite designs, like the Jim Lee versions. So him in the all blue spandex outfit is cool. So it even goes up to his head, so you could just even that have another version of Cyclops where you don't see his head, but it's completely covered up there with his visor that of course shoots out his laser blast. But then we get the hair piece on top as well. That is a design I like as well, where his hair is always sticking out of the top, printing on the back as well, where he's got a little bit of a smirk back there, so you can choose either face. I have more of the serious face there since that seems to fit better with Cyclops. Again, all blue spandex everywhere else, but he does have the straps coming around in yellow, so the straps coming around his shoulders with the X logo there, connecting into his belt with all the pockets and the X logo on the belt buckle, and yellow gloves there on his hands. No printing or anything on his legs, and pretty bare, but the straps do continue around there to his back as well, so looks pretty good overall for that. So I really like this Cyclops. Then we get Rogue as well. Of course, Rogue looks pretty much the same, just maybe a little bit different. I think they may have changed her jacket color or something to this green color, but anyway, she looks pretty good. Has the nice hair piece there with the nice poofier like brown and almost like a reddish color hair, but has her white streaks, like shock streak in it, which is pretty cool, and even has the green band going around her head. And overall pretty decent face, you know, has the lipstick and the eyelashes and stuff, and around on the back she has more of an angry face, so if you want to have her going into battle with that. Then like I said, she does have the green like bomber jacket on over the top of her outfit, her spandex outfit that's got a lot of this yellow yellow and has the X-Men logo there on her chest and the logo there at her belt, with the green that goes down the sides all the way to her boots there, where it has some of the printing design there for her boots, and then just designs of the jacket and stuff going around there on her back as well. So not a whole lot of fanciness to it, but it still looks pretty decent for Rogue. And then, as I mentioned, my least favorite figure of this is Magneto, just because I always prefer the normal Magneto design with the red and purple. It has the helmet and everything, but this time we have Eric as like sort of out of costume, and like I said, I know we will see him in the show as this. It is from a comic story where he sort of looked like this, and we get the older man face, so you can see he's got some wrinkles and the white hair, of course, a little smile on his face with his long flowing bright white hair that we can take off, and he's got an angry face there on the back, so that's pretty cool. And then he has a nice purple cape, you know, that fits for Magneto. And then we have his outfit design where he's got more of this pinkish color outfit, like I said, the big M there on his chest, bare arms until you get to his gloved hands, and the pink continues down his legs. And then he comes with this disc, so it's just a metal disc, you know, and because of his powers of magnetism, he can fly around with that, controlling it. So that is pretty cool overall, I guess. So cool to have these figures. Like I said, I wish Magneto looked more like the old one, but this one will just do for now because I'm sure they'll eventually make that one. But it's cool having these X-Men characters. Like I mentioned with Wolverine, I'll be bringing in the CMF one there to have this better looking version of Wolverine. And then from the CMF, I'm also going to be using the Storm and Beast, so kind of filling out the ranks of the X-Men there that go with the X-Men 97, especially this Storm with the mohawk haircut, which I was looking to pay attention because for me, I always like Storm, you know, from the older X-Men series where she had the poofy long white hair, which it's not going to fit the same, but we're like, oh, we could take the hair off this Magneto and give it to her, which I don't think looks bad at all. Of course, doesn't look like how she did in the show where she'd have much flatter hair, where I like where it's all poofy, almost like Rogue's hair just in white, but it does work for that as well. So if they ever do come out with a different Magneto and I won't need this one anymore, I may take his hair off and put it on this Storm just to have a little bit, at least to me, more classic look to it. But yeah, thanks to that CMF wave, now we do have extra X-Men to be able to add and sort of build out this wave, because that's what I want, is to be able to build an X-Men team. So hopefully more Lego sets will come out in the future with more characters. But then we have our X-Men X-Jet, which is the Blackbird that serves as the main transport for the X-Men, designed as a spy plane that sacrifices weaponry for surveillance, but is equipped with concussion missiles and lasers, and has a cloaking device, pressurized cabin, and Cerebro built-in for Xavier. And overall looks pretty good, you know, looks like the X-Jet I remember, of course, probably modified and with Lego a little bit different from what it appears in the show, but I like it that it's got the all dark blue color and then has the stickers on top of it to add in some yellow and stuff, and like our X-Men logos, like here on the side we do have this, and I love how it's got a little arrow pointing towards like where the door is, so if you see that little arrow design. And with that, of course, we have our front cabin, so our like piloting section with the lid that does come up, and I love the see-through red, it looks pretty cool there. But we have our front little cabin section with the pilot seat, so we have the pilot seat with a screen on the front that has a picture of Magneto. I wish I could get in here and zoomed in closer for you, but as a picture of Magneto, so showing their target with the little controls, so obviously to pilot the plane. And then I love like the pieces on the side that have all of like the buttons and stuff, and you can fit 2 characters in there, so enough room in the front section to fit 2 of our characters. And from that we then go to our extra section in the back that's kind of like also looks like a cockpit, but you know, a little bit different design wise, so we have 2 seats in the back there as well. And I love how you can sort of see through, they left it open there with like a pass through to the front section, but we have 2 seats in the back, again little control panels and stuff on the side with buttons. And then I like this little panel in the back that has like this little blue see-through screen in front of this other screen that has a picture of the X-Jet, so probably to show like diagnostics in case though they're attacked and have damage or anything like that. But pretty cool just to have that little additional screen, like I said, with the blue piece in front of it, just kind of makes it stand out and futuristic more for that. And if we go down underneath the cockpit area, we do have some missiles, so we do have the stud shooter, so obviously we can shoot them off there, but I love having like the caution design on the front of them. We do have little lights here in the front as well that you can sort of adjust, so if it's flying up in there, it can be pointing down at whoever they're targeting or whatever, so that's pretty cool. And then going back from there, we have our 2 engines in the back, so our 2 big engines with the fins that come off, of course, with the fins that, or the wings, whatever, that sort of angled to the front with lights here on the side, and then our extra little fins here in the back that do have the X-Men logo sticker pieces on there. So again, just adds more details and designs. And of course, under each of those, we do have the spring-loaded missiles, so they're just one shooting off. So we have those that you can push on and shoot off. And the way they're designed with these like triangle pieces do also kind of act like as landing gear, so they sit down on the ground there, so it sits flat down onto the ground. And if we look at the back, we of course have like an exhaust sort of piece here, and our engines on the sides with of course the missiles that one's sort of shot off there. So not a whole lot to it, like that's pretty much much it for the plane. We do have these extra little storage containers. They're always hard to get out of here, but these extra little storage containers you can store stuff in. From the box, it shows one putting Wolverine's claws in. So like if you want to put Wolverine in here, you know, sitting, flying around, he doesn't need his claws in, so you can store them in a container. And then the other one just has the extra missiles. So the stud shooters from the front, you can store the extra missiles down inside there, and it shows Magneto stealing those two containers, of course using his magnet powers. So really overall, that's it. Like I said, that's one reason why I'm not too like excited about ships, because they're pretty bland and boring. And then like with this, we can only store 4 characters, which we get 3 good guys that would actually fit inside the Blackbird, and then Magneto, so obviously he doesn't need to fit in it. But like with bringing in Beast and Storm, obviously they don't have anywhere to sit. I could only fit one of them in there. But let's just go ahead and do Cyclops in the front, since he's the leader of the X-Men and the ground team. So we'll go ahead and put Cyclops in the front there, and maybe Rogue behind him. And I think I've had issues with this, that you got to get her out of the way if you put her or any character there, because it's got to have enough room for the canopy to shut down. So you have to kind of have her sit forward a little bit to be able to get behind her. And then I usually just take Wolverine and stick him in the back. Now with him, to get him in the back, I usually don't want to take his claws out, so I just turn his claws to the side, and it allows it to go around like the computer screen, and I just put him back here like he's monitoring the ship from the back, and then close him down in, and then just take Magneto, and you can just sort of have Magneto flying around like trying to attack the ship. So I just kind of stick him on top of there just so he's landed on the ship. So that's really all I do with it, and so that's probably how I'll keep it displayed. If I keep the ship together, I'll definitely be keeping the minifigures out. So hopefully if we ever get like a Xavier school or just something cool to build like playset wise with these, I'll have these figures available. But the jet itself, you know, it looks cool. It's, you know, nostalgic being from the X-Men show and stuff, you know, look pretty much how I remember it. So that's really cool, but it's a big ship now. It's like I don't know what to do with it. So I just have to figure out some place to put it if I kept it built together. But overall, I really like the set, mostly for the minifigs. The ship itself, nothing wrong with the ship. It's just a ship. So I'm not really too excited about it, like I said, but the minifigures is more what I was interested in. And I hope they do come out with more X-Men sets, because like I said, I do want to try and fill out more of the team and maybe get a cool set like the Xavier's Mansion, or just a Sentinel set, just something where I can sort of build and keep a little scene out for display. But that's going to be it for this Lego X-Jet. Like I said, not a horrible set, probably a little bit pricey, especially for what you get. Like the ship is pretty big, like size-wise, it's not tiny, but I feel it's a little bit lacking for the price that it was. So let me know what you thought of this set down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.